Well, we're here at the new product showcase, and I have to get me one of those power pole things one time. They gave me a bunch of clothes today. So anyway, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Veritas rods. We were just talking about how the reels have gotten so advanced, and the rods are pretty much keeping up, aren't they? They're getting pretty wild.
Absolutely, yeah. The rods. I mean, the materials that they're using these days on the rods is just second to none. It's just so far advanced versus 2, 3, 4 years ago. It's just the stuff's just way better.
Well, it says, I see a sticker on there that says 3M Products, which is a very high-tech company. What's going into these Veritas rods that are making them so special?
Well, the thing that makes these Veritas rods different from the last Veritas is that PowerLux resin. That PowerLux resin, basically, when you think of resin, it's basically glue that holds the fiber together. So when it catalyzes, it hardens, stiffens, and it just holds the fibers together. Well, if you add structural integrity and structural stabilization to that resin, a chain of binding. It's like structural resin, which is really cool.
They got little particles, nanoparticles in there that when it catalyzes.
Absolutely. It's like rebar in the concrete, or, there's a bunch of different ways you can kind of describe it.
So what does that do for the rod blank?
Well, the greatest thing it does, if you just added PowerLux resin to a regular rod blank, the old Veritas, it wouldn't be any lighter, it wouldn't be any heavier, but it'd be a whole lot stronger. So then it kind of opens the floodgates of, well, that rod was pretty darn strong. I mean, how much stronger does it need to be? So, what we did is we made the rod 15% stronger, but 5% lighter. So less material becomes a lighter rod still, a stronger rod still, which adds all those extra things that a light rod does.
So what does that give us when that take all that weight out of there?
That's a good question. It gives you a lot. So everyone's always wanting to fish a lighter fishing rod because it's easier to fish all day. It adds sensitivity. It's just nicer. It's nicer to fight your tackle less and the fish more.
Yeah, I got you. When we're talking about these rods too, they all come in classes. And how does this special resin affect the class any, or is it they still categorize them the same way?
No, it doesn't. The resin itself doesn't really change the class, but that's a good question. We still have all those different rod actions, right? So the different rod actions at Veritas is available in so many different makeups, for inshore and bass fishing. But you have moderate fast, which is really good for like cranking. You have fast, which is good for, reaction baits and things like that, and then you have extra fast, which is really good for hopping a jig, things like that. So when I say moderate fast, extra fast, what I'm really talking about is how stiff the rod is and how far back into the rod the bend comes.
Right. So how far do we want to when we talk about a fast rod, is it just the tip that's fast, or does it go down to the whole thing?
Well, what you're looking really for it to do is for the tip to kind of lock up at, 3 guides back, 4 guides back would be considered a fast rod. So you don't want it to pull all the way into the handle. That would be a slow.
Right. So we're talking about the blanks, but now there's a lot of other things that go into the rod, all the other components. What's really nice about the components on the Veritas? Yeah,
like you said, with having such a light blank and all that, you don't want to add things to that.
You want to load it down.
You want to load it down with different stuff. So we have very low profile guides and components on these, and that low profile just accentuates the weight savings in the blank that much more. They're high quality, corrosion resistant, stainless steel, really hard rings perfect for super lines, things like that. A couple other things too is these new reel seats.
Right.
A lot of reel seats you'll see. It's just an extrusion. It's a plastic extrusion, plastic molding. But this with the soft touch paint, it's structurally the same, but it's just that much more comfortable.
Has a really nice feel to it.
Yeah.
And I see where you've also got, the closed cell foam.
Yep.
Does that stay clean? Is it, stay
it
pretty
does.
clean, easy to clean off?
It actually will get dirtied up, but it is closed cell, so you can get it clean. I always tell people just use a Mr. Clean magic eraser. Works perfect.
Go. I got, when you're I see that you've got different little things. Okay, well, I guess we're going to take off then. We're done.
Okay.
I was just told we were out of time.
Okay.
Well, I really appreciate it, brother.
No problem.